Hey everyone, Simon here. Today I thought I'd share with you a Sanskrit story that I came upon while rummaging through some of my old stuff. I came upon some of my old Sanskrit handbooks, and it brought me back to, when I was studying this stuff. And so what you have here on the screen is from, let's see, 2006, I think, 2007, when I was learning to read and decode this. But then I started reading some of these stories and I thought, man, these still have lessons for us even to this day. So today, with your permission, I'm going to read you a little excerpt, part one of this story. And, if you like it, I'll read part two as well. Or maybe I'll just summarize part two. So here we go. Now this, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, and I'm sorry if this is kind of hard to see, but all my scribbling is on there, and all this is, so apologies for that. But when I learn, I write right in the book. I tend to be a little, I don't have that kind of level of reverence for the books that I should, I suppose. So Dvadasha Partha, this is chapter 12, Sarvam Vai Murkhamandalam. And this translates kind of as all. Sarvam is all, Vai is indeed, Murkha means idiot or stupid person, Mandala. So the whole mandala, the whole society, the whole world is kind of designed in a way to foster stupidity, idiocy, or lack of discrimination. And it kind of reminds me of the movie White Tiger, which is based on a book, a best-selling book. And the movie's a little dark, but it really emphasizes this point that if you don't fight for yourself or for your own kind of rights, then nobody's going to give them to you. And in fact, quite the opposite. People willingly give up their own rights. So let's get back to the story. So think of this movie, and if you've seen it, it's on Netflix. You can watch it on Netflix. It's an interesting movie, and certainly this point comes across in that movie. And there's something to be said for. Well, I'll talk about the moral afterward. So here we go. Ekada kaschid vyadaha grihadvanam pratyagachat. So ekada literally means one day, but it means once upon a time or sometime in the past. One day, sometime in the unknowable, indistinct past. Ekada, once upon a time, kaschid vyadaha, a hunter, went to the forest, left his house and went to the forest. Marge gachan saha akamayat yatyaham kadachid ekadrasham vihagam labhe yasya vishtaya swarnam vartatam. So marge gachan. So while traveling on the path, and in those days you walked, and sometimes walked for days and days. So your mind gets to thinking. And he had this desire. Yadyaham kadachid etadrasham vihagam. If I only had or could get such a bird whose poop was gold. Tarhi aham vyadasya karyam tyakshami. Then I would leave this stupid hunter's job. I would stop being a hunter forever. Now, how many of us haven't had this thought? Like, oh, if I only knew about Tesla when it was $5 or $10, or if I only picked the right lotto numbers, right? This is this kind of desire. Or, man, if I only bought Bitcoin in 2013 and held on to it, never sold. Right? So these are the kinds of thoughts you get when traveling by yourself, and so on and so on. If I could only marry a prince, or all these things. Tarhi aham vyadasya karyam tyakshami. Now he's and then I'd leave this hunter's job. Now he's not considering, maybe it's my dharma to be a hunter. Maybe this is the way I contribute to society. No, he wants the bird with the golden poop. Then tena cha mama daridryasyapi nashaha bhavishyati. Then through this, by means of this, my poverty, indeed, also nashaha bhavishyati, will be destroyed. Meaning, then I could leave my job and my poverty will be destroyed. Evam kamayamanaha savyadaha vanam pravishat. Thinking this way, and with this desire, the hunter entered the forest. Bhagyat, out of sheer luck, bhagya. Now, bhagya means good fortune. It's also your past life karma. So bhagyat means on the one hand, out of luck, right? And we look at someone who wins the lottery and they go, man, they got lucky. But on the other hand, it's their bhagya, it's their past life, you could say, good fortune. Now, if you don't believe in past lives, they put themselves in the right place at the right time. Okay, that's another kind of interpretation. But in the Vedic astrology, bhagya is the ninth house, bhagyasthana. So out of the ninth house, out of his ninth house, you could say, out of his good fortune, saha tadrishameva vihagam apashyat. Just such a bird he saw. He saw a bird, just the kind he was thinking of imagining him. What kind? Yadrisham saha kamayat. The kind he had desired. Tasya vihagasya vishtha swarnam, let me see, swarnamayasit. Sorry, this is a little bit clouded out. So tasya vihagasya vishtha. So this bird's poop was made of gold. Now, how did he see that? I guess he caught the bird pooping. Vyada, you kind of have to suspend a little bit of disbelief when reading these, but that's part of the beauty of it. Vyada hatatruštva ativa modata. Seeing this, the hunter became exceedingly happy. Vihagam cha yata katanchit apashriyat. And somehow, in some way, he trapped the bird, panjare, chakshipat, and threw him in his net or his bag or his trap. Okay, so the hunter had this wish, traveling down the road, it just came to him. He entered the forest and he saw the bird that was in his mind. Out of what? Bhagyat, out of sheer luck or good fortune. Tattaha sagraham prati nyavartata. Then he returned home. Grihe cha swam bharyam akatayat. Mameka kamata purna bhavat. My wish came true. My one wish came true, he exclaimed to his wife. He told his wife. So his wife says, Priya, tvam kimmakayataha, kimmakamayataha. What did you desire? What was your wish? The hunter says, Priye, hey Priye. This is the vocative case. Hey Priya, hey Priye. Priya is the masculine ending in a. Priye is the masculine ending in a. I mean, the feminine ending in a. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All of that is in the vocative. Krishna, you're saying, hey Krishna, hey Rama. And here it says, hey Priya. Priya means, oh dear, my dear. And then the Vyada says, hey Priye, oh my dear. Aham makamaye yat yatadrasham vihagam labhai yasya vishtayam svarnam vartatam. Aham makamaye, I wished for such a bird whose poop, that if I could get such a bird whose poop was made of gold. Saha chahamallabhe. And just such a bird I found. Pashyayam saha vihaga. Here, look at him. Here's the bird. Ayam svarnamayim vishtam tyajati. This thing emits poops, gold, golden poop. Anena vihagena asmakam daridratayah nashaha bhavishyati. With this bird, our poverty will be destroyed. We've literally found the goose that lays the golden egg, right? It's a similar story. Similar story. But somehow it's a little, I don't know, it's a little cooler to see it in Sanskrit. Svarnamaya. See, I made a note here. Made of gold, golden. All right. Let's keep going. Patyuhuvachanam shrutva patni avadat. So hearing her husband's words, the wife said, Bharta, tvam satyam kattayasi param yadi mam vartam nripatihi avagamishyati tada saha tvam dandayishyati. She said, okay, what you say is true, but, oh God, here we go. Once you find the golden goose, everybody's going to want to give you advice. Everybody's going to want to tell you, oh, you should do this with it. You should invest it in this, or you should buy a golden cage for it, or you should, right? So the first to do the shoulds is his wife. So what's the point here? Is the point don't listen to your wife or spouse? No, the point is cultivate your own discernment. But let's see what happens. But she says, Yadi imam, if this news, vartam, nripatihi avagamishyati, if the king should find out this news, then he will punish you. Yataha, therefore, rajasya niyamena, yataha rajasya niyamena etadrisha, since this is the law of the land, that the birds, everything in the kingdom belongs to the king. This is the law of the land. Yataha rajasya niyamena etadrisha vihaga rajasyeva bhavati. So this bird too belongs to the king. Natu kasyapi janasya. Indeed, and not to the people, not to the person. So even though you found this bird through your own bhagyat, good fortune, through your own, work also, you caught it. Nonetheless, it belongs to the king. And watch out, because if the king finds out, you're going to get punished. Ataha shigram nipatehe samipam gacha. Now she's ordering him. Now she gave him advice, and now she's saying, gacha, shigram gacha. Go right away to the king. Go right away, nripatehe samipam, in front of the king. Go seek his audience. Tasmei chaitam vihagam samarpaya, and give him this bird. It's a beautiful verb, samarpayami. Samarpaya, you say this when you do a puja, when you do an offering in Hindu tradition. Samarpayami. So she's saying offer, samarpaya, this bird, vihagam, tasmai, to him, the king. Okay. Prasannaha nripaha tubhyam bahu paritoshikam dasyati. Then the king, who will become happy, we'll reward you. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Here's a little picture. Here's the hunter. He's got the bird here. Here's the king. We can't really make the king out. And so part one of the story ends like this. Bharyayaha katanena sahatam vihagam nripaya ayachat. So Saha, the hunter, he, that bird, so having listened according to his wife's, advice, he gave the bird to the king. Nripaha pi vyadhaya kinchid dhanam ayachat. And so the king rewarded the hunter with a little bit of a, reward, because now the king has to reward him. The king can't, because if he punishes the hunter, then the next person who finds a bird that poops gold is not going to want to come to the king. So the king is smart, right? He knows, look, I'm going to reward him just so everyone knows that if you do this kind of thing, you get a few pennies. And then vihagam cha svaprasade arakshat. And he stored the bird in his castle. So that's the end of part one. I'm going to stop here. If you guys want to hear part two, there is a part two. By the way, you see this k means part A, and then k will be part B. It's very cute. You know, in English, we say part A and then part B. In Sanskrit, it's part k and then part k, because it's the second consonant. K is the first consonant, k is the second of the alphabet. So if you guys want to hear part two, leave me a comment, let me know. I don't know if this is interesting for you, but I want you to think about the moral of this story here and how I'm going to tie this to cryptocurrency, and I'm going to tie this to the world we live in today, which is so decentralized with the internet, with international finance, DeFi, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, where now bhagyat, out of our own good fortune, out of our own svakarmat, svatantrayat, out of our own hard work, we can ourselves create, make, and cultivate and feed the bird that poops gold. Whatever that is for you, whether you have an online business at Amazon, whether you own, you bought Theta when it was 2 cents and now it's $12, or you bought Celsius when it was 10 cents and now it's $6, whatever it is, or Bitcoin, you found that gold, the bird that poops the golden egg. The question is now, well, it's not the question. The reason more people haven't found this is that they're afraid of the king. They are, they're afraid that somehow they'll be punished. And the thing is, you still pay the king. I pay my taxes. You will pay your taxes, whatever is owed. But we see governments threatening to ban Bitcoin. India is threatened so many times. China is threatened. Russia is threatened. So many countries have done so because they want that bird for themselves. They want to create their own digital currency. They want to hold on to the bird with the golden poop. The problem for them is that the world we live in now this has become so democratic, so international, that I don't think anyone really can control it. There is no one king. And in part two of this story, we'll see how the king handles the bird, because I don't know if you know this, but governments aren't always the smartest keepers of their coffers. So that's in part two. If you want to hear about it, I'd be happy to tell you the story. Until then, that's it from me, and we'll see you in the next one. Namaste, everyone.